Nobody owes you anything. You have to remember that. Nobody owes you anything. If anyone gave you anything, you should be grateful. Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Ennis Olorunipa, and it is story time. Okay, so it's summer. There's no better time to tell stories than summer. So I've got lots of stories to tell you, but there's a difference. See, these stories are actually very intentional because of the lessons you learn from them. Lots of values to pick from them. And guess what? All these stories were told to me by my mom. So, Momilo, I love you. I'm blessed to have the best mother in the whole world. So, she raised us with the Word of God, shared lots of valuable experiences with us, lots of lessons to learn. My mom is so wise, so wise. She's full of wisdom. So when I'm speaking with her, I always take notes. So over the years, I have these different folders of the impactful things, so many of them that she's told me. But this particular one is about two beggars. So just stay tuned to this YouTube channel. If it's your first time, I can guarantee you're in the best YouTube family. I can tell you. Go over my content, watch the previous videos, lots of amazing content just for you. Okay, so let's get into this story. So if you have your popcorn and and your ice cream, just relax, chill, and enjoy. All right, so the story is about two beggars who always stayed in a popular place in the town. And whenever the king passed by, so he would see them. But there was one of the beggars who always eulogized the king, celebrated the king, shout praises on him. So the king liked him, and he also liked the king. But each time the king passed by, he begged for alms. I mean, that was their work, they were beggars. And the king never gave him anything. So, he just kept thinking, what a stingy king with all that he has, So on this occasion, as always, the king was passing by and he did what he would have done, praise the king. And this time, the king gave him bread and he was disappointed. He wasn't asking for bread. He wanted money. He thought if the king would just give me money, I'll be off the streets. But the king gave him bread. So you could imagine grumbling and complaining after the king had left with me. I could imagine his fellow beggar making jest of him. After all the praises, all you get is bread. So in that disappointment and dissatisfaction, he asked his beggar friend, fellow beggar, if he wouldn't mind to buy the bread. And the guy said, why not? So from his own money, which he had saved from begging, he bought the bread from him. Several weeks after that, the king came passing again. And he sees the beggar there. And, as always, begins to praise and hail the king. And the king asked him a question. What are you still doing here? And, king, as usual, trying to ask for help, to feed myself, my family. And then the king asked him, did you eat the bread I gave you the last time? Oh, he said, yes, I did. Oh, king, thank you. It was delicious. The king said, no, he did not eat that bread. He said, king, I did. I really enjoyed it. It was nice. It was soft. It was like agege bread. So if you don't know what agege bread is, don't worry about it. And the king said, no, you did not eat that bread. And the king asked him, be honest with me. Tell me, what did you do with that bread? I said, oh, king, to be honest, I sold that bread. I didn't eat it, What I need is money actually, but you gave me bread. And the king asked him, who did you sell the bread to? He said, the fellow beggar, I used to be here. So the king asked him, so where's the guy? He said, well, king, since the day I sold the bread to him, I've not set my eyes on him. I just hope he's okay, hope he didn't die somewhere. And the king said, no, after buying that bread, you wouldn't see him again. And the king told him, if you had eaten that bread, you also would not be here again. He was shocked. You could imagine he was shocked. And, what was so different about the king's bread? What was so special about this bread? The king then revealed to him that in that bread, he had put lots of valuables. There was money in that bread, different notes, different currencies. But he did not open the bread. He sold the bread to his friend. You could imagine the regret. He was filled with regret, but that was it. So this story taught me in many ways. In a society right now, in a world where people don't tend to promote positive values, good morals, I think stories like this are actually important. So I learned a lot from it. One of the things that came to my mind at first was gratitude. You see, he wasn't completely grateful. Nobody owes you anything. You have to remember that. Nobody owes you anything. If anyone gave you anything, you should be grateful. You see, it's sacrifice. He felt the king could afford more. I'm sure if he was an average looking person that gave him that bread, he might have eaten it and be very grateful. But he thought, the king give me bread. But even if he were the king and had a lot more, it was still his choice anyway to decide what to give you. So we should be completely grateful for any blessing, no matter how little it seems, that comes to us from anybody. It took them a lot to actually give you. Even the thought process, to think about you, to give you something, anything, you should appreciate at least the thought and of course whatever was given to you. Another lesson for me would be, there's this popular saying that if you want to hide something from an African man, put it in a book, because he will never open it. So I think it connects in a way as well. If only he had even attempted to taste the bread, maybe the royal bread would taste differently. Maybe the king's bread, it was made with a different flavor, but he just never gave a chance. From the outside, he judged and concluded. You see, many people are that way today, just from the outside they judge and then they make their conclusions, never getting the opportunity to relate with the real deal. Another thing I would say was a lesson I picked from that story was the thinking, the restricted thinking of many people. You see, he was after money, but money is not everything. Money is not everything. It's the same for many people in the world today. They are not patient enough to serve. They're not loyal people. You see, they just want to get it now. You see, if you're not talking money, you're not talking my language. But how about relationships? You see, I could give you something more than money, much more than you could even imagine. But it may not come on the spot. You see, it may not come instantly. So you've got to be patient enough to see beyond money. It doesn't always have to come in the form of money, in monetary value, at least at the beginning. So there's a lot more I know from this story. So let me know what came to your mind as you listen to this story. Share with me the values that you picked from it. Let's amplify these kind of stories. So let's get the world thinking about the right way to behave, the right way to act. So I have a lot more to tell you, lots more stories. I can tell you, you would enjoy all of them. But let me know in the comment section if you enjoyed this one. Let me get your feedbacks. Let me know if you'd like to hear more stories. All right, thank you for watching this video and see you next week. Bye-bye.